Gentlemen, you ready? Yep. All right. All right. Again, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our board meeting tonight. We are on item E, reconvening into open session. And announcements at this time of closed session items. There are no announcements to share. We'll continue with item G. Item G is comments from the public. The board will take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. And we'll begin with Teresa Rodriguez. Teresa. Por acá, enfrente.
Bueno, buenas tardes. Mire, yo vengo en representación de mis compañeras. Yo también somos cross ladies, ¿verdad? Yo tengo muy poco tiempo, ellas sí tienen mucho tiempo trabajando. Entonces, supimos de que va a haber un cambio en las AMDURI, ¿verdad? Van a ser empleadas permanentes. A nosotros no se nos está tomando en cuenta. A nosotros nos paga el distrito, estamos dentro del distrito. Entonces, nomás queríamos que nos tomen en cuenta para que también a nosotros nos pudieran integrar en ese plan. Eso es lo que venimos a pedir, ¿verdad? Como mi compañera, ella tiene 19 años trabajando de cross lady, otras tienen más, otras tienen menos, ¿verdad? Otras tenemos más poco, pero eso es lo que estamos pidiendo, que por favor nos tomen en cuenta y también porque también somos parte del distrito escolar, ¿verdad? Ok, es todo.
Muchas gracias, señora Rodríguez. Next speaker, María Bravo. María.
Good evening. My name is Maria Bravo. I'm a classified employee. I've been with this district it will be 20 years on February 22nd. I'm here to speak on an action item for tonight, action item number K4 on the school site solutions contract. Isn't the district duplicating the services that they recently contracted with Sanderson Corporation? I read both the contract and services are the same, if not similar. Read both contracts and question both firms to ensure that you as a board aren't paying for the same services. I don't want to pick on anyone, but isn't the maintenance director also providing some of these services? Why are we duplicating the services? Who's doing the job? Why are we spending more money than what we have to? And in reading the contract, ironically, for the school site solutions on page 4, the first paragraph, last sentence reads, renewal contract amounts may reflect changes in the cost of living and increase to fee schedules. Cost of living that we, at least classified employees, have not received in the last 5 years. But then again, you're going out there and providing these monies to entities or private companies to people that do not live or work here. Now, you see the background behind you? It's a beautiful masterpiece that was made by classified employees from Cesar Chavez. I want to make a shout out to the Cesar Chavez team and especially to Nora Iniguez for this masterpiece. Congratulations. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Bravo. Any other ones? No other comments? Okay. No other comments. We'll continue with item H. This would be presentations. H1, boys cross country, girls cross country, team IVL champions.
All right. So if we can have our boys cross country please come up. And also, if we can have our coach, Antonio Mayorga, please come up. So, Mr. Mayorga will give us a little bit more information in regards to our amazing cross-country team. But they did such an amazing job of representing Calexico Unified School District. And I'll have Mr. Mayorga go ahead.
This is only a part of the team that came to the meeting regarding this recognition by the district. And our season started back in May. They started running on their own. The actual season started in early August. So their dedication throughout the season made them fight for first place, but we failed and ended up in second place. So we had a good season after all, and name the teammates that are here is Federico Felix, right here. Jesus Anguiano, Edgar Hurtado, Alejandro Gómez, Benny Rios, Reese. Gilberto Herrera.
Congratulations, and again, behind every great team, there's an amazing coach. So congratulations, Coach Mayorga.
Thank you.
Picture, Mr. Rivera. Thank you. I think at this time we're continuing with girls cross country. Yes.
And now we continue with our girls cross country. And our girls cross country are the Imperial Valley League champions who qualified for CIF. So let's give them a big round of applause. And we have Coach Luis Rodriguez who will be saying a few words and presenting our runners.
Buenas noches. Esta es una pequeña parte del equipo al que entrené por toda la temporada. Las demás tienen otros deportes al que están entendiendo ahorita mismo. Y sí, esta temporada fue algo difícil porque para las últimas dos carreras no teníamos al equipo completo con el que habíamos empezado, porque unas se lastimaron, otras tenían pruebas de SAT, pero aún así ellas pudieron hacer el trabajo y, como ya habían dicho, quedaron campeones. Y en CIF estoy orgulloso de decir que este equipo terminó en el mejor lugar en la historia de cross country para girls desde 2001, cuando nos movieron a Division 1 de CIF. Ese es un logro muy, muy importante para ellas y para esta escuela. Ella es mi capitana, Cassandra Contreras. Chantal Ponce y Leyman Contreras.
And again, let's give a great round of applause also to Coach Luis Rodriguez for all his wonderful effort. Thank you.
H2. Very good. Again, congratulations, students and coaches, and thank you very much. This time we'll continue with item H2. Oh,
So for all of our runners that are here, there'll be a little celebration for you that's waiting. We have pizza for you, and if you can follow Ms. Lopez in the back who's waving, if you can please go to the back, she'll have a room full of goodies for you. So again, congratulations to all our boys and girls cross country.
We'll continue with item H2. This will be the highest attendance for month 3, and this month will be Cesar Chavez Elementary School with a 97.89% attendance. Anybody from Cesar Chavez?
All right, so this is a big old deal and accomplishment, right? Because attendance is something that we always are looking at very closely. And our school sites take a lot of pride when it comes to their attendance. So our last month's highest attendance was Dual School. Ms. Hansen could not be here, but I believe Ms. Arellano from Dual School is here. So let's give Dual another big round of applause for their highest attendance last month. And like to congratulate, because she's going to give the trophy to our next top winner, which is Cesar Chavez Elementary School with a top attendance score of 97.89%. Congratulations to Ms. Molina, principal of Cesar Chavez, to all the staff, all of our teachers, student, all of our staff that contributes to making sure that we have the highest attendance as best as we can get, so they get the banner that they can put proudly, and they also have the roaming trophy, which is something to be very, very proud of. So let's give Cesar Chavez again another huge round of applause. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. We'll continue with item H3. This will be student representatives. And we'll begin with Aurora. We have Pablo Torres. Barboa? Pablo?
Okay. Good evening, Superintendent Gonzalez, members of the board, staff, and members of the audience. Aurora students came back from their thankful Thanksgiving break on November 26th and were ready to get back into action to get their work and complete their credits. The week of December 3rd through the 7th, the school acquired a new ping pong table for the students to enjoy during their lunch hour and after-school programs. This next week of December 17th through the 20th, ASB will hold Spirit Week, on which on the 17th, students will be able to wear their pajamas to school. On the 18th, students will be able to wear green along with red to commemorate the Grinch. On the 19th, the students will be able to wear any festive clothing in celebration of the holidays. And on the 20th, students will be able to wear their favorite ugly Christmas sweaters and will enjoy a Christmas carnival during the 5th and 6th periods. Students will go out on their festive winter break on December 21st and will come back to school on January 7th. Thank you.
Thank you, Pablo. Calexico High School, Ariana Madrigal.
Good evening, everyone. So for our school, we've had a very successful Spirit Week, which we encouraged all levels to participate to see which grade has the most spirit. Due to heavy rain last week, we were not able to host our pep rally, but tomorrow we will be having it. The ASB has also been hosting the annual coin drive event in order for us to raise money to buy gifts for children who may not be able to receive any for this Christmas season. Lastly, our students have started to prepare for their finals, which we will be having Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
Very good. Thank you, Ariana. From our 9th grade campus, Adrienne Campos.
Good evening. I'm Adrian Campos, the ASB Class of 2022 president from the CHS 9th grade campus. To start off, before we left on to our Thanksgiving break, we had a food drive, and that whole week we had a food drive to collect canned food, and the top class received a pizza party, which went to Mrs. Panella's period 3. And the class, the week we came back from break, we started preparing for Battle of the Classes, which was the first week of December, which was also our Spirit Week. And we were lucky enough to be invited to the Battle of the Classes pep rally at the CHS main campus, which will be held tomorrow. And next week, we will start our annual toy drive to raise toys for those children in need and who aren't lucky enough to receive toys. Thank you, that's all. Have a nice night.
Thank you, Adrian. From Enrique Camarena, Alondra Tesman.
Hi, I'm the new ASB president, Alondra Tessman, and the members of MAC Coalition, ASB, and the Aspiring Firebirds have joined together and have been collecting toys for families in need. We are doing this between December 3rd and December 20th. Last week, all 8th graders took the pre-year practice SATs in preparation for the SATs that are going to be taken in high school. On December 8th, our ECGH students did an outstanding job in the parade. With the help of some very dedicated parents, our students, we finished our float just in time to win the grand prize. As a proud band member, I'm glad to say we won first place in the middle school category. For our cheerleaders, they won second place, and our small but fair drumline won second place. And finally, the countdown for final exams have started. Our finals exams will begin next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. In ECGH, every student should have a chance to study and do great on their tests. With help from our avid tutors, students are getting a chance to study for their finals. This is a great opportunity for all students, and hopefully it will motivate them to seek some help and do an outstanding job on their finals. Thank you.
Thank you, Alondra. Finally, from Willie Moreno, Natalie Travascus.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Natalie Travascus, and I am part of the ASB at William Moreno Junior High. Today, we will share the events we have planned for the month of December. Our annual toy drive started December 3rd and ends on December 19th. Students bring a new unwrapped toy and receive a free uniform bracelet for December 19th. We're also having a door decorating contest which started December 3rd and ends on December 14th. Our theme is Christmas. We had a movie night on December 6th where we watched the movie Elf. We had a formal Friday on December 7th, which started our Spirit Week. Students had to dress up as if they were going to a formal event. On Monday, December 10th, was Christmas Sock Day. Tuesday, December 11th, was Santa/Elf Hat Day. Wednesday, December 12th, was Disney Day. Thursday, December 13th, was Ugly Sweater Day. And Friday, December 14th, is Christmas Colors Day. Mr. Mayado had his mousetrap races on December 12th, and 3 cars competed. We had our second Cupcake Wars today, consisting of 4 pairs competing and 2 student-teacher judges. We also postponed our parent picnic due to the weather for December 14th. On December 20th, we are having our annual reindeer games, where students get to participate in volleyball, karaoke in the MP, dancing in the quad, and hot shots basketball competitions. Those are all the activities we have for the month of December. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie. We'll move on to item H4. This will be Student of the Month recognitions. And we'll begin with Aurora. We have Dana Camarena and Pablo Torres Barboa.
Okay, so the first student of the month is Dana Camarena. And she's here. Dana Camarena is the daughter of Lisbeth and Ricardo Camarena. Her favorite school subject is math and more specifically algebra. One of her favorite hobbies is playing flag football. Dana wants to attend SDSU after high school and would like to have a career in nursery or in law enforcement as a U.S. Custom. Dana would like to thank her parents for always supporting her with her schoolwork.
The other student of the month for Aurora High School is Pablo Torres. Pablo is the son of Javier and Teresita Torres. He is a senior at Aurora High School and is also the ASB president and the board representative for the school board. He likes to spend time at school by focusing on his work and having fun with his friends in the after-school program, Assets. He plans to have a career in social studies at San Diego State University and become a history teacher one day, hopefully in this district. He would like to thank his parents, friends, and asset tutors for always helping him with the school. Ladies and gentlemen, Pablo Torres.
We'll continue with Calexico High School, inviting our students and parents as well. Padres, si están aquí, por favor, vienen para enfrente. Cassandra Contreras, Ered Lopez.
So Cassandra Contreras is a 12th grader. She has a outstanding GPA of 4.33. She would like to thank her parents, siblings, cross-country team, and her close friends for helping her be on top of her studies and extracurriculars. Some extracurricular activities that she's involved with is she is part of the varsity cross-country team, varsity girls basketball team, and varsity track team. She is also a part of the art club. Her plans after high school is to attend a 4-year university as an English major. Some advice that she would give to her younger self is don't doubt what you're doing. Sadly, Arad Lopez is not here today because he's in a game. He's part of the varsity soccer team, but do you still? Okay. So Arad Lopez is a 12th grade student. He has a 4.22 GPA. He would like to thank his parents for always giving him the support he needs and his teachers for always putting in their greatest effort for him to be able to be prepared for college and life. Some extracurricular activities is that he's a part of the varsity soccer team. He's also part of the California Scholarship Federation and the math club. His plans after high school is to hopefully attend UCLA and major in chemical engineering to focus on the environmental issues we face today. Some advice that he would give to his younger self would be to never give up on himself and never to procrastinate.
From the 9th grade campus, Camila Acosta, Omar Arriola. Do we have Camila? ¿De los padres?
Camila would like to become a marine biologist or an environmental lawyer, as she would like to help preserve the environment, and she is interested in attending UC Davis. Her favorite class this year is geometry with Mrs. Palacios, and her favorite teacher is Mr. Gentry for biology. When Camila is not at school, she enjoys reading, set designing for the CHS Theater Company, and playing with her pet pug, Ducky. Camila would like to thank her parents and her little brother for their support. Omar Ariola, is he here?
Omar?
Okay, it seems like he's not here, but Omar Ariola would like to attend UCLA and become an aeronautics engineer. His favorite class this year is MESA, and his favorite teacher is Mrs. Panella for honors English and literature. When Omar is not in school, he enjoys listening to music and playing video games. He is also part of the CHS wrestling team. Omar would like to thank his mother and his cousin Mario, who have influenced him by telling him that he needs to endure hardship so that he can enjoy the fruits of his hard labor later on in life.
Okay, now let's continue with Enrique Camarena. We have Adria Lopez and Ismael Burgos. Adria?
Adria Lopez is an 8th grader. Adria Lopez is the son and daughter of Adria and Guillermo Lopez. Her hobbies are resting, reading, and spending time with her friends and family and listening to music. Her favorite subject in school is language arts. When she graduates, she would like to travel as many places around the world as she can. And she would like to start looking for places of her own. She would like to thank her parents and God because they have helped her throughout everything and her whole life. Ishmael Burgess. Ishmael Burgess is an 8th grader. He is the son and daughter of Selena Cisneros. His hobbies are playing video games, playing basketball, and football. His favorite subject in school is science. When he graduates, he would like to have a good job and to be able to pay his own bills and to satisfy himself and his family members with gifts. He would like to thank his mom and family members because they have always encouraged him to do the best in school. He gives a special thanks to his mother because she always supports him in school and outside of school.
Thank you. We'll continue with Willie Moreno, Victoria Aguayo, Daniel Fernandez. Is Victoria here?
William Moreno's 7th grade district student of the month is Victoria Aguayo. Victoria is the daughter of Ana Maria Ramirez, and she has 2 siblings, her sister America and her brother Saul. Victoria's favorite subjects are Avid and math. Some of her other favorite things are hamburgers, the color purple, and hip hop. Her dream destinations are Paris and New York. Her dream car is a Dodge Challenger. Victoria's role model is her mom because she's a strong woman who says to never give up. Her short-term goal is to maintain her 4.0 grade point average because her grades are very important. Her long-term goal is to attend the University of San Diego State University. When she grows up, Victoria wants to be a math teacher and teach 7th graders. We hope your dreams come true, Victoria.
And Daniel, is Daniel here?
William Moreno's district student of the month is Daniel Fernandez. Daniel is the son of Myra and George Fernandez. He has 2 siblings, his sister Mariela and brother George Jr. Daniel's favorite class is literature. His favorite food is carne en su jugo, and his favorite color is blue, and he loves 80s and 90s music. Daniel's dream car is a BMW. In the future, he hopes to travel to Rome and Greece. Daniel is working hard to maintain good grades. In the future, Daniel hopes to attend Stanford University and earn a master's and doctoral degree. He hopes to have a career as a lawyer, archaeologist, or as a computer scientist. We wish you the best of luck on your journey.
Very good, thank you. And once again, congratulations to all our students and their hard work this last month. Very good. We're going to move on to item H5, and this will be our staff presentations, and we'll begin with Cesar Chavez Elementary staff. Ms. Molina?
Good afternoon again. Today we have 2 very special employee recognitions. I'm very happy and honored to recognize two special members of the Cesar Chavez Lobos family who are always willing to go above and beyond for our students. I would like to begin by recognizing Mrs. Veronica Alvarado. She is our Mrs. Alvarado, she's our projects clerk. She's been working for us for approximately 2 years, and since day one when she arrived to Cesar Chavez, she came with a positive attitude, ready to learn, ready to work. She can be described as a team player, someone who's always willing to go the extra mile and help any way she can. She's efficient and diligent in completing all the tasks that are given to her. And she definitely plays a very important role in ensuring that our office runs smoothly. Mrs. Alvarado has outstanding customer service. She greets our visitors, employees, and most importantly, our students, with respect and always with a smile. Thank you for being such a valuable member, Mrs. Alvarado, and for being a team player. Congratulations. Next, I would like to recognize our awesome counselor, Mrs. Jasmine Andrade. Ms. Andrade, she's a great asset to our Lobos family. She's a key component on the education and the well-being of all of our students. We can say that she's the mastermind of many of the activities that take place at Cesar Chavez, activities that positively impact our students in the areas of academics, behavior, and social-emotional. Just to name a few, she has her counseling sessions on a weekly basis, individual sessions, group sessions. And in addition, she assists with the attendance challenges, so thank you, because we were able to get that trophy. Thank you, Ms. Andrade. She sponsors several clubs in school, Friendship Club, the Leadership Club, promotes the Higher Education Week, and she was able to manage to get almost half of the staff to do the flash mob during our Halloween carnival, so thank you so much, and of course, getting a float ready in 3 days. So, Ms. Andrade, thank you for always promoting and helping us maintain a safe learning environment for our students. Thank you for everything that you do. You're highly, highly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
There's cake and pizza and room 7. Pizza for the students? Yeah, for the students.
Once again, congratulations to staff and students. I think at this time, we will take a short, about 5-minute break. For students, there is pizza in the back to celebrate your accomplishments. Oh, pizza and cake in room 7. We want you to partake in that, so help yourself. Room 7, students, pizza and cake. Please help yourself. We'll take a 5-minute break. Okay. This meeting. Microphone. Call this meeting. All right, let's call the meeting back to order here. At this time, we'll continue with item I. Item I, this would be the consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion unless an item is pulled for separate consideration and action. Gentlemen,
I'd like to pull item I4 and I7.
Mr. Romero is pulling I4 and I7 for a separate vote.
Pull I2.
And I2. Any others, gentlemen? All right. So I see I2, I4, I7. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
What is, a motion to
To approve all, everything but item I2, I4, and I7.
Motion by Mr. Romero to approve all consent agenda items except I2, I4, I7. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. Take this to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those items, consent agenda, pass.
I move to approve I2.
There's a motion by Mr. Romero to approve I2.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr. All those in favor?
Aye. Abstain.
Aye. Mr. Alvarado is abstaining, and the rest of the four are approving. Item I4.
I move to approve. I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Calderon Jr. to approve, second by Mr. Alvarado. All those in favor?
Aye. I abstain.
Aye. Mr. Romero abstains. The four are approved.
Motion to approve item I7.
Motion by Mr. Alvarado for I7,
Second.
second by Mr. Calderon Jr. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
I abstain.
One abstention, Mr. Romero. The rest approved. Thank you. Let's go on to item J. This would be informational items, beginning with J1. Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, good evening, trustees. Good evening, community. So first of all, I'd just like to report on the Christmas parade, and I want to thank all the schools that participated and represented us very proudly on Saturday, December the 8th, and want to give kudos to the following sites, and I know we have some of our staff here. So the overall Calexico Christmas parade winners, we had a sweepstakes award went to Enrique Camarena Junior High School, which one of our students sent the plaque around. First place went to Maines Elementary School, so congratulations to Maines. And third place went to Jefferson Elementary School, so congratulations, Jefferson. And our grand sweepstakes band winner was Calexico High School, so congratulations, Calexico High School. And it's not over, there's more. In regards to the middle school bands, first place, Enrique Camarena Junior High School, so congratulations. And third place, Willie Moreno Junior High School, so congratulations. In regards to our elementary drill teams, first place, Blanche Charles Elementary School, so congratulations, BC. And third place in drill team went to Cesar Chavez Elementary School, so congratulations. Another news, we have our cheerleaders who are doing competition for the first time in CIF, and so I do want to report that they went to San Diego to a tournament, and they did win second place overall, so congratulations to our cheerleaders competing for the first time in CIF. Also, want to let trustees know, the community, that our Calexico High School Theater Company, I believe one of our students of the month is in the theater company, will be presenting Out of Time at the Rodney Auditorium here at San Diego State Ivy Campus on Saturday, December 15th at 4 and 7 p.m. and on Sunday, December 16th at 2 and 5 p.m. Also, Calexico High School Jazz will be holding a concert on Tuesday, December 18th at 5:30 p.m. at the Varner Gym. And our jazz band has previously been selected to record with jazz musicians from Disney Studios. So they're just an amazing group. So if you have a chance, please make sure you go out and hear them. Also, getting into the holiday spirit, because I think we can all feel it in the air, right? We have the Calexico High School Winter Band Concert. That's taking place on Wednesday, December the 19th at 6 p.m. at the Varner Gym. Our elementary sites, I want to report, are also doing a number of activities when it comes to the Christmas programs, and I want to thank our teachers and all of our staff for putting together such great programs for our community. And lastly, winter break. I think a lot of us have been waiting for the winter break. There will be no classes on Friday, December the 31st. And classes will resume again on Monday, January the 8th. And so we want to wish everyone a safe and a restful Christmas break, and a Happy New Year surrounded by family and friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Let's continue with item J2. This would be the Measure V update.
No updates at this point.
Thank you. Item 3, association comments. Let's begin with ACT.
Good evening. Is this on? Yeah. Good evening, members of the board, the district, educators, staff, and members of the public. First, I'd like to alert the district and the school board to some irregular directives that certificated employees were given by administrators, namely the use of non-teaching certificated employees, such as counselors and school psychologists, as substitutes for classified employees last Friday. At this point, it is difficult to ascertain how widespread this was, and it is even more difficult for me to determine where these directives came from. Regardless, it is of absolute importance to remind the district that certificated employees and classified employees have negotiated job descriptions, and to direct certificated employees to breach the work duties that classified staff have negotiated for can only be seen as an unfair labor practice. It is the position of ACT that certificated employees should not be asked or be directed to leave their work duties to be a de facto proctor or custodian or an instructional aide or any other position that our classified staff members rightfully and solely hold. I would also like to report on a case of the careless treatment of a teacher and students at the 9th grade campus. At this school, we have a regular classroom teacher who has been assigned over 40 special education students within 2 periods of class time. While our teachers welcome the inclusion of students designated as requiring special education into our classrooms, the scheduling of over 40 students with special needs into one teacher's classroom when, as far as I know, this teacher has had no additional training to work with special education students and holds no special education credential, presents an undue workload for this teacher, as each special education student has paperwork and meeting requirements that are time-consuming and will give this teacher an inequitable amount of work. Also, our students with special needs who are being placed into a normal classroom setting are not really being placed into a normal classroom setting if the majority of their peers in that class are also special education students. There is no reason this should be happening. A similar occurrence happened 2 years ago at the high school with a Spanish teacher who had over 30 special education students throughout the day. I worked with the district, namely Carlos Gonzalez and Mike McFadden, to try and ensure that this kind of situation would not repeat itself. Why are we facing the same situation again? ACT asks that the district do what they can to alleviate this inequity and to give these students the opportunity and support they need. Finally, ACT would like to extend to our classified brothers and sisters a message of solidarity in their pursuit of successful bargaining. Negotiations are rarely easy, so stay strong and stay united. Thank you.
All right, thank you, James. Association comments by CSEA? Anyone from CSEA? Yes. Oh.
Our normal color is blue, but today we're going black. So I want to talk to you a little bit about a couple of things we're dealing with, so you hear directly from us. First, I'd like to ask that every classified staff member here please stand up. These are your community members. These are the people you hired and selected for these jobs because they're the best through our eligibility list, through our merit system. We should be proud of them, and I'm proud of them. Thank you to all classified staff. In March, we'll have been working for this contract for 3 years. 3 years in March. And I have to congratulate the district on the extent of it. I've worked for CSEA in 4 field offices up and down the state of California and 100 school districts. This is by far the most protracted and lengthy negotiation cycle I've ever experienced with the school district, and certainly one where the district has paid an attorney to be at every single session, and I'm not sure what they've yielded out of it. It certainly hasn't helped kids. It certainly hasn't helped us get to a deal. I've been here for 3 years now. Every time I sit down with Carlos, we generally come to an agreement. Every time I sit down with Clifford, we generally come to an agreement. There's one difference. And so I place that at your feet because we heard earlier today that there was a comment that the district spent over $100,000 on this attorney during this round of negotiations for no resolution. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't help kids, and it doesn't help employees. And then recently, we're surprised to see a second attorney come to the bargaining table. So now, out of nowhere, you have 2 attorneys at the bargaining table. And so I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's for, and she hasn't really spoken, so I'm not quite certain what the benefit of that has been. But I want to make sure the board's aware of it because it's not making a lot of sense to us. Because it seems like the district's coming to us and saying, hey, money's tight, but we see these attorneys showing up in now multiple numbers. It just doesn't make sense. It hasn't solved it. The district has now, in its last proposal, said that it wants to have a conversation about these employees contributing to their health care. So I want to make sure there's another fact that's well in public and known. 1 year ago, the district went to bid because we're in a very unique relationship. In every school district I've been in up and down the state, it is extremely rare to have a district still buying direct from one of the big carriers. Now, when I got to Imperial, they said, well, it's different because Anthem's the only game in town. It's not really true. It's not true. And we went to bid last year. We pay a consultant to run that process. We pay him $220,000 a year. It's Keenan and Associates. They came in, they ran the process. Before they gave us the final numbers, they came in at a 4.71 increase. We said, well, wait a minute, we're going to go out to bid. We think we can join a pool like all the other groups in the state of California and get better benefits for a lower cost. All of a sudden, when the bids came in, Keenan comes back with, oh, what do you know? It's not a 4.71 increase, it's a rate pass, and we'll increase your benefits. So if they're able to do that, the second they think they're going to lose the business, I ask you, what are we paying them $220,000 a year to do when they're not under threat of losing the business? So the district made a decision. The district chose to not save money on that deal when there were multiple options in front of them to save cold hard cash for the district, and they chose to stay with their current provider and stay in their current relationship with their broker. That's a decision the district can make when the district's paying the bill. But now the district wants these members to pay the bill. It doesn't make sense. And so if the district wants to have an honest conversation about health care, there cannot be sacred cows and these relationships that are making $250,000 a year that we're going to protect. It doesn't make sense. Not when the money's coming out of their hard-earned pockets. They work hard in the heat every day for you. They're the people you chose for these jobs. I'm asking district to look at this because they're worth it. That's it. They're worth it. It's not about me. It's not about Sal. This money should not be going to San Diego. San Diego doesn't need it. The Valley needs it. And they're worth it. I ask you, please do the right thing. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bryant. We'll continue with item J4. This will be the Insurance Committee.
Good evening, trustees. Good evening, community. So we have our insurance committee meeting. Last one was on December 4th here at the district office in the boardroom. And we do have representatives from CSEA, from ACT, and from the district. One of the things that we always ask in regards to the services is if there's any issues in regards to the health insurance, in regards to dental or vision. And so happy to report that in regards to the ACT members and CSEA members, there are no issues being reported in regards to our health benefits at this point. Another thing that came up was in regards to going out to market. And so the insurance committee did recommend to go out to market. We anticipate that there may be another rate increase. And so with that being said, we're being proactive and going out to market at this point. So we'll be bringing more information to the board on that. In regards to some of our wellness activities that we have going on in the district, I do want to report that we do have our health fair that's scheduled for January 29th, 2019. And so that one will take place at the Tesada Gym from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And so we welcome all of our employees to attend. Last year, we had about 200 biometric tests that our employees took. So we're anticipating that we'll have a lot more of our employees participate. So please come and join or come to the health fair. It's a wonderful event where we'll have a lot of vendors that will be there in regards to wellness. And also we have our culinary students that will be serving food, healthy food, of course. So if you can make it, that would be wonderful. There's a lot of information to get from it. And our next insurance committee meeting is scheduled for January 22nd, 3:30 p.m. At the district boardroom. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. Next one, ROP committee. That'd be mine. Just very quickly, I want to thank, I think, Mr. Lorenzo Calderon Jr., correct? Taking on the ROP committee at 6:30 in the morning. Good meetings. So I'm going to keep it brief and leave it at that. So thank you. We'll continue with the next one, safety committee. Safety committee, any?
Good evening. We met for the second time our safety committee on November 26th, and the purpose of the meeting was to review our comprehensive school plans, and we made some comparisons between the existing plans. And so one of the things we noticed is that many of the elementary sites are missing some specific procedures regarding drills, and so we used Calexico High School's plan as a model. They do have information on all the drills, so we submitted that to the sites to update their plans. We will be bringing them to the board by the end of January. We have to make sure that they're completed by the beginning of February. Amongst other things, we talked about our catapult and making sure that sites are getting updates on those. We expressed the need of possibly more emergency buckets that we purchased last year. There were additional rooms that did not have buckets, so our sites are going to report to us how many more buckets they need. We also had a debrief on our Greater California Shakeout. And we also, Calexico High School shared an emergency checklist that they have for everyone in the classrooms, because they did have an emergency in one of the classrooms where, in this case, it was a teacher who had the emergency. And so the students fortunately reacted well, but as a result of that, now we have little signs on every phone so that students know what to do in case of emergency. Our next meeting will be on January the 10th.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Next one is yours as well, LCAP.
Yes. LCAP, we're beginning again to go through our series of LCAP meetings. The first one we're going to have is on December 18th. We will be meeting at the Community and Parent Training Center, which is a training center that we have now at what used to be the older Aurora campus, or the future FRC, and that'll be at 6 p.m. That is an informational meeting to provide updates to our community on our 2017-18 LCAP. What were some of our accomplishments and so forth. But then in February, we're going to start our series of meetings for our stakeholders. So we have stakeholders meeting with our ACT, with our CSEA, students. We have a core committee. We have our DLAC and Migrant PAC committees, and we also have our community forums. So our community forums will start on February. There are some changes that we possibly need to make to some of these meetings. So what I'm going to do is, for every board meeting that I come, I'm going to make sure that I come up with an updated list. But for right now, this is a tentative draft of our meetings so that our community can start seeing and start planning to attend. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez. All right, we're ready. Item J5. This will be board reports. These are informational reports by board members, and no action is taken. Begin with Mr. Alvarado.
All right, I just want to congratulate the boys and girls cross-country team once again for the outstanding season they had. Also for our students and staff that were recognized here tonight. Since it's our last meeting of the year, just want to wish everyone here Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Calderon.
Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of things. Every now and then, Carlos, Mr. Gonzalez, you tell us that the words that I hear are, we're taking care of it. We're taking care of it, it's being taken care of. But lately, I get messages from people and they do not match what the district is saying. For example, this issue about 2 lawyers being in negotiations, I don't remember having called for 2 lawyers to be in that negotiation. So there are some questions that I have, and we will tend to those questions in closed session. But I have a couple of things, a couple of issues with that, because at the end of the day, Carlos, we are the ones, the 5 of us, we are the ones that face the community. We are the ones that need to make these decisions, for better or for worse. We are the ones that have to make the decisions. Okay, like somebody said before, these are the people that live here. These are the people that take care of our kids. These are the bus drivers. These are the janitors. These are the people in special ed, the special ed aides. So, who do I believe? Because in the past, yes, I took your word for it, or I should say I took the district's word for it. But now, I have more questions than answers to what these people have to that these people bring to me. So it's unfortunate, but at the end of the day, like I said, I have to make sure that when I go to bed, that I can rest and that I can be at peace with the decisions that I make. And in order for me to make a decision, I need to be well informed. Also, I went to a couple of schools, going back to our regular business, I went to a couple of schools. I see that our schools are clean. Okay, teachers are getting the stuff that they need. I see custodians in the morning, really early in the morning. So I'm glad that regardless of these issues that we have, I'm glad that people are still getting up in the morning and going to work. So thank you for that, because that's what we're supposed to do. And last but not least, this is the last meeting of the school year, not of the calendar year. So if I don't see everybody, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna run into somebody at the store. So, but if I don't see you, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Calderon Jr.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'll be brief. Again, thank you and happy holidays. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Littlejohn. Mr. Romero.
Thank you all for joining us. Your input is greatly appreciated. And I want to congratulate Cesar Chavez for the highest attendance, the cross-country teams that were recognized, plus the students and the great employees that we have. That's all. Thank you.
There we go. And I'll be brief as well, not to repeat what's been said. But again, I just want to thank again Mr. Alvarado for his term as the board president and completing a good year. I want to recognize and thank Cesar Chavez for hosting us tonight and for accommodating our crowd and all our guests tonight. So thank you for that. And then just quickly, I know the dashboard's been released and we'll have information on that soon. So look forward to hearing that. And of course, I want to wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy new year. Thank you. As a board, we'll move on to item K. These will be the action items: consideration and action approval of the following items. We'll begin with K1. This would be an agreement between the Calexico Unified School District and the American National Red Cross for facility use during disasters.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Calderon, a second by Calderon Jr. to approve. Any discussion? Call for the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item K2, an agreement between the Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Behavioral Health for the use of property at 641 Rockwood Street, Calexico.
So moved.
I second with comments.
Motion by Mr. Calderon Jr., second Mr. Calderon. Discussion.
And the bond, when they wrote the bond, was this including Carlos in the bond? Or maybe, I don't know, Mr. Vega? Yes, of course. Was this included in the bond, these kind of services?
No, sir. The repairs are you talking about?
No, we're talking about,
If I may, no, this has to do with an agreement in regards
I'm
to
sorry.
funding from behavioral health.
I'm in K3. I'm sorry.
Any other discussion on item K2? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We move on to item K3. This would be the agreement between the Calexico Unified School District and Jesse Douglas Heartline for DSA inspection services for the Measure V facility projects.
So now I have the question. So when the bond was written, is there any language regarding using the funds for this?
Directly, no, but indirectly, they can be used. A DSA inspector is an important component of facilities construction, and we can use bond funds to pay for this. And that is directly because, again, the architect, although designs a project, the DSA inspector is the one that makes sure that everything is being done according to the specs and code. So they have to submit reports as work is being getting done. The DSA inspector is critical because that's how we certify that the work is being done according to code.
This is a critical component. It's very, very critical.
Very critical. We can't build anything without a DSA inspector.
Oh, no, I understand that. My point is with the bond, the way the bonds are written, they're very specific as to what is it that you can use and you
Right.
cannot use the money. So, no, I understand the importance of it. Okay, so, I mean, if you're saying that we're not gonna get in trouble for.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We're not.
So
I move to make a motion.
I second.
A motion by,
I'll motion.
motion by Mr. Calderon Jr., a second by Mr. Calderon. Any discussion? Call for the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item K4, this is an agreement between the Calexico Unified School District and School Site Solutions, Inc. for general assistance services for facility planning. Any background? Discussion?
So this particular company, we need their expertise, and we need it for a variety of different reasons. They specialize in program and project management. They also specialize in school site selection. They also specialize in acquisition, state approvals and advocacy. They specialize in Department of Toxic Substances Control Oversight, CEQA, which is the Compliance Services in School Facilities Program, basically to make sure that we're doing everything in line, so that way when we do go for any type of reimbursement at the state level, then that way everything's in check. It's kind of like making sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's. So that's the service that we'll be getting from this company.
Any discussion?
It's a project manager, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Like I asked you yesterday when we met, wasn't this company or wasn't this person involved with Mr. J?
So there are several companies, that provide services, and when it came to Measure J, was this a particular company that provided a service? It was one of those companies, but there were multiple companies that provided services through the Measure J.
Other comments, questions?
I do have, we've talked about a project manager in the past.
Correct.
Project manager was $60,000, $7,000 a year. And then we were going to have to bring him, pay
Right.
health and benefits and so forth. So this is going to cost us how much?
$145 an hour.
How much?
$145 an hour.
Not
Yeah,
to
which is,
exceed 15,000.
is there a limit on it?
15,000.
15,000.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
I move we
May
approve.
I make a comment
Yes.
about that? So this is a general service agreement for as we go throughout the year, there are many unknowns that we sometimes encounter when it comes to facilities, when it comes to, a CEQA requirement, environmental study. This is more so driven towards that direction so that we can seek guidance. Let me give an example. Let's say that someone wants to give us a piece of land. Well, getting a piece of land doesn't mean that, yes, give it to us. There's also work involved to make sure that the land is usable. So that's the kind of expertise. This contract is not necessarily for project management. That's a different project that when we get our DSA approval plans, if that's something that the board will consider, we'll bring it up at that point. But this is just for the year, so that we can have at our disposition someone that we can call and seek, just like we seek legal advice, we can seek facilities advice for things that we don't know. That's what it is.
And that's our expertise.
Second the motion.
Can I ask a question? So I know there's a first by Mr. Romero, a second by Mr. Lorenzo Jr. My last question. Mr. Vega, how are these services different than, believe there's another item. Is this? Was there one for Dominguez?
What was the question?
Dominguez? Oh, that's the one. Okay.
That's the one.
Okay, now I withdraw my question. Just
no
clarification.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you. Any other discussion?
It says under, it's on page 4, under terms of contract and renewal, first paragraph, second line says, never mind. Second paragraph says, should CUSD wish to obtain necessary services for projects outside the scope, an amendment or change order may be requested. We've been talking about a project manager. That's true, Mr. Calderon. We've been talking about a project manager. I wish we would have been notified about this so we could have do a better background check. And that's all I have to say.
Okay. Other discussion? I believe there's a motion on the floor. Again, Mr. Romero made the first, Mr. Calderon Jr. the second. Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? One opposed. Mr. Calderon, Ciro Calderon opposing, the 4 approved. Moving on to item K5. Agreement between Calexico Unified School District and the County of Imperial for Vista Stand Socialization Services Program for the 2018-2019 school year.
It's a yearly thing.
Correct.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Ciro Calderon, a second by Mr. Alvarado. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion passes unanimously. Item K6, agreements between the Calexico Unified School District and Johnson Controls for the heat and duct detectors at Calexico High School.
I move we approve.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Romero, a second by Mr. Calderon Jr. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item K7, grant award agreement between Calexico Unified School District and the Imperial County Air Pollution Control District for Rule 310, mitigation for paving at the district's warehouse facility.
So,
Background?
Yes.
just for the record, can you tell us where we're paving, so we know?
So it's going to be right next to the district parking lot right now where we park underneath the shade structure. It's going to be that area right next to the stadium. And also inside the transportation yard, there is a dirt area that will also will be asphalt. So does that answer your question? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. In addition, if I may add, this money that we are receiving could be considered a grant. I just want the board to know that the amount of money being awarded, it may or may not be sufficient to do both projects. The expectation under this agreement is that we do both. So what I will have to do is either seek proposals so that I can determine whether or not we have the funds to complete the project. Because again, it may or may not, asphalt and concrete are two of the most expensive materials, and it's real hard. I think it's going to be real hard for us to do enough with this money. So there might be an added cost, and when that happens, when I know what that is, I will bring it up to the board.
So you want to approve with the contingent upon it meeting our budget
So
demands?
if you approve it, Mr. Romero, it is saying that we are going to do both projects. So we are in a way obligated to complete. One of the things that I noticed in this grant is that it doesn't give us any timelines. So we don't know if it's a year or 2 years. So I guess they're leaving it up to our discretion when we can accomplish it. I will be calling in the Imperial County to find out a little bit more, but I just want to make sure that you understand that the money, although it's being given to us, it may or may not be enough to complete the project.
So how much more is it going to cost us? You have no idea?
We got a proposal, and it was about $400,000.
So we're short $120,000.
Right. So, but then what I would do normally under these circumstances, I would go out and bid so that I can, solicit the most cost-effective proposal. The proposal that I got, it was based on just this is how much we can do the work for, but it was not through a bid. Through a bid, you normally get better pricing.
Just for the record, I know the pavement inside the warehouse area.
Yes, sir.
The other one you're referring to is the one on the south side of the warehouse, where the football field parking lot?
Yes,
Behind the parking lot, yeah.
That's a big area.
It is a big area. It is a big area. So that's why I'm saying I don't want the board to believe that this money is enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would
Right.
agree with that.
Okay, so.
It's going to be more money.
Yeah.
So Mr. Vega, you would come back to the board if there's an additional cost?
Absolutely. So if I get direction, I would like to go out and bid, maybe not right away because, we have the holidays, but maybe around January, February, go out and bid and get proposals. When you go out to bid, you're not obligated to do the work. You're just getting the best price available, and then let you know exactly how much that is and what will be the contribution.
So then for clarification, this item is for us to accept the grant?
Yes.
In the district, and then you'll go out to bid there?
Exactly.
We approve.
Second.
So motion by Mr. Romero for approval, second by Mr. Alvarado. Any other discussion, gentlemen? No? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Passes unanimously. Going on to item K8, this would be the revision of a job description, student supervision assistant. Is there discussion about it?
So the board approved this one at the last board meeting. It did go to the Personnel Commission, and there was a recommendation by the Personnel Commission to add basic knowledge of CPR as well, and also a requirement that these employees obtain first aid and CPR certification within 6 months of employment. So we're bringing it back to the board with that revision from the Personnel Commission.
We approve.
There's a motion by Mr. Romero. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alvarado. I just had one question. And the district covers the cost for this CPR training?
Correct, and we already do with all of our employees in the district. We offer first aid and CPR for whoever wants to take the course.
Very good. Thank you. Other questions? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item K9, approval of variable term waiver for the 2018-2019 school year for Karina Montaño.
Move to approve.
So motion by Mr. Calderon,
Second.
second by Calderon Jr. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. K10, approval of provisional internship permit for Amanda Rose Gerardo for the 2018-2019 school year.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Calderon Jr., a second by Mr. Calderon. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Item K.
I do have one question before, President.
Yes.
If we approve them tonight, when can these staff go to work? Because I know it's holding our athletic director.
She could start as early as tomorrow, once she has everything submitted into the county. They'll go ahead and issue the temporary county certificate, and she should be able to start right away.
All right, okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you,
Sorry.
gentlemen. Item K12, 2019 CSBA Delegate K11. And this is authorization to utilize piggyback bid from Glendale Unified School District for Apple products.
K11, right?
Just a question, what is it?
Maybe some background discussion, please?
Yes, sir. To the best of my abilities, So our infrastructure, infrastructure is Apple-based. So what a lot of districts do, they create their own bid for Apple products. Instead of us doing our own bid, we're piggybacking on somebody else's that already did the work. And they got the best, pricing from Apple based on a bid. So what you're approving in essence is us continuing to piggyback. We have already, we already do that. The thing is that their bid expired, so they have to go out and rebid again. So in order for us to continue to get and enjoy the benefits, continue to do that. Continue to piggyback on this Glendale bid.
All right, thank you. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Alvarado. Mr. Calderon Jr., a second by Mr. Alvarado. Any other discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Motion passes unanimously. K-12, 2019 CSBA Delegate Assembly Election Nomination for Subregion 18B.
Move to approve.
Second.
This is, go ahead.
Right, so we received this one from CSBA, so the board would need to nominate a delegate. And this particular would be for nomination for subregion 18B.
Yeah, first and second.
It's a nomination, though. I'm willing to do it if the board wants to.
I move that we assign Mike Castillo to the...
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll second that.
So there's a motion by Mr. Romero to nominate, I guess, myself for the delegate, second by Mr. Calderon.
So we have to withdraw our first.
Oh, I will draw my first motion to approve.
You got that, John?
All right.
All right. Any other discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will abstain. Again, that's a 4 approval, 1 abstention. Thank you. Item K13, this is a resolution to authorize the piggyback purchase of vehicles and related services.
Okay, on this one, I'm very confused because I do not recall this action. I know we said, let's buy 2 right now, and let's go out to bid. Trying to piggyback off some other school district that were with the Glendales. All of a sudden, I see that we have chosen a quote from Enterprise Fleet Management. That was a quote. It wasn't a bid. And then second of all, I prefer to keep our purchases local, keep our business local. They pay the sales tax. It stays here. They have employees. Enterprise has no connection here. And these were just quotes. They were not bids.
Correct.
Do you want to provide any background?
So at the last board meeting, and my understanding of the last board meeting is that we would purchase 2 immediately, which we were able to achieve that through our local vendor. But I understood that the directive was to buy another 3 using the piggybackable bid from Enterprise so that we can expedite the process of ordering those vehicles. That's what I understood. If I understood wrong, I'm sorry. We do have other options, which is obviously going out and bid. If the board so desires, we can do that. And that way we can invite a number of dealers. So.
Because I do see that, I remember what we talked about. And the reason for piggybacking on a different, or with somebody else, it was to get a better price. Now, according to my calculations, and I'm not a finance person, I'm not a math person, but if in 3 vehicles, it comes out to 32 and change.
Right.
Now, how much did we pay for the ones at Robinson Ford? 34?
It was about $500 less from Enterprise to Robinson.
So, So why are we, I know that we have to go out to bid and we have to keep the threshold as 90.
But yeah, for materials, it's 92,000.
92,000. So, but it's not like we're saving a lot and we're still gonna have to wait 4 or 5 months, so, no.
And they could service the trucks here.
No, this doesn't include the service.
I know, but I mean, you could you have Robinson Ford.
Right.
If it was Robinson or
Yes,
the
absolutely.
other Ford company, whatever.
So, well, if the board so desires, if the direction is now to go out and bid, I'll be more than happy to put together a bid. We probably won't go until January for the execute the bid and go and advertise.
Yeah.
Is that what the direction is now?
Yes. I would say yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, okay.
So on this
we're
action,
just
I
gonna
move to,
Table it.
no,
no,
I move to,
Do we need to take action?
no, I move to not approve resolution K-13. Right?
Okay,
Yes, correct.
I move not to approve.
I second that motion.
all right.
Okay, so the first by Mr. Calderon, second by Mr. Romero, not to approve this resolution. Now, do we still need to go through it and do the votes for nay? No? Or just move on?
Just have to go into vote, right?
It's a resolution. Yeah. So let's go through the resolution. And we'll start with Mr. Alvarado.
I vote that we don't approve it.
That's a no. Mr. Calderon?
No.
No. Mr. Calderon Jr.? No. Mr. Romero?
No approval.
No. And I'll say no as well.
And just for clarification for the administration, go out to bid at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think board's giving, Mr. Weiler, a comment?
Clarification on the votes. When somebody says no, that means no approval, not no on the motion.
Okay.
No approve, okay.
Very good. Thank you. So am I hearing, we're hearing direction for the district to go out to bid?
Bid.
Is that clear, Mr.
Yes, one more comment. So when I go out and bid, what am I bidding for? The entire number of vehicles, 5, 10? Just
Three.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
And also, Mr. President and Carlos, maybe for the next board meeting, if we can have a schedule of when we are supposed to order every year, the trucks? Because we said that every year we're gonna be ordering new trucks, right?
So, if I may, Mr. Calderon, if you allow me to do my first interim presentation, I think I may have found a solution.
Okay.
So, if I may.
Oh, well, I just want a timeline because of what has happened in the past, so just more or less when we could order again.
I will provide you with a timeline.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, very good. Let's move on to item K14, a resolution regarding disposition of surplus assets and non-asset kitchen equipment at Blanche Charles Elementary.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Calderon, second by Mr. Calderon Jr. This is a resolution. Mr. Alvarado?
Yes.
Mr. Calderon?
Yes.
Mr. Calderon Jr.?
Yes.
Romero?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Resolution 5. Item K15, this would be rejection of claim Mariano Velez III versus Calexico Unified School District.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Alvarado, second by Mr. Calderon. Any discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there,
Opposed? None. That passes unanimously. K16, this will be the appointment of Jose Aguin as a classified employees appointee to the Personnel Commission of Calexico Unified School District for a 3-year term, 2018 to 2021.
I move we approve.
Motion by Mr. Romero.
Second with question.
Second by Mr. Calderon. Discussion.
Discussion. So this is not our decision per se, right, Carlos, Mr. Gonzalez?
That is correct. So what we do is we get a recommendation from CSEA, in this case, Ms. Sonia Rodona, the CSEA president. She lets us know who CSEA has nominated. So that's how we get the name.
So we have no say. So
That is correct.
Other discussion? Got a motion. We'll call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. K17, first reading of the revised board policy 3350, travel expenses, and adoption of administrative regulation 3350, travel expenses and use of credit cards.
So we talked about having a board policy in regards to travel and use of credit cards. And so that's what we are bringing to the board as a first reading.
So we're still going to be paying per diem, right? And we're not going to be requiring that they give us receipts.
That is correct.
That's correct.
That is correct.
Okay, so this is related to the credit card use.
This is related to a credit card. I am stipulating in that policy that in the event that you lose a receipt, we really need to have a receipt or have a system in place that we get an explanation as to why the receipt was lost.
For the purchase made with the credit card.
Right.
Now, who has control of the credit cards?
What the policy is saying that it will be now cabinet members and the board, so desires to have a credit card, but
No, no board member should have credit cards.
Okay, so it'll be then the cabinet members, superintendent, assistant supes.
Okay.
Other comments? Thoughts?
No, I don't want a credit card.
I don't want
No
one.
one, no board member has credit cards. Should get.
Other comments on this item?
I move we approve.
A motion by Mr. Romero, second by Mr. Calderon Jr. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes unanimously. This will be K18, fiscal year 2018-19, first interim report. Mr. Vega.
Thank you. Again, good evening, board. Very excited to be here, community, everyone in attendance. Excited because this is my real first opportunity to give you a snapshot of our current budget and where we are. This is our first interim report, so very happy to be here to present this to you. Can everybody see it? Do we need to dim the lights a little bit? I think it should be fine. Yeah, just a little bit so that people can see the numbers. There we go. So I'd like to begin my explanation of what the first interim is by just briefly going over the budget cycle. As you know, we approved a budget in June. In June, we approved a budget based on the May revision numbers, the best set of assumptions that we have at that time. So when the budget gets adopted in June, that's really not the final changing numbers. The numbers are set in stone when the legislature approves the governor's budget, and that happens at the end of June. So whenever there is a big shift in numbers from what the governor said he was going to do in May to budget adoption, sometimes there is a big shift that we can either tackle it at first interim, give you the revision, the changes, or what we call a 45-day budget revision, which is normally do 45 days into the new fiscal year, which would be August 15. In this case, the last budget update that you received, based on unaudited actuals, was back on September 13 by then Carolina, when she was here. So the next cycle for us after today would be the governor's workshop in January. That's when we are going to get a first glance of what the next year budget is going to look like. The new governor is going to give us a proposal of, or it's going to propose, a set of numbers that we can start using to start working on next year's budget. For this current year, the second major report that we will be presenting to you is at second interim, and that is normally due on March 15, on or before March 15. And then we start, again from there, we start working towards developing the new budget in April and get the last changes based on the May revision, and so on continues the cycle. Okay, so this is first interim, and what you're gonna see is kind of the same numbers that you saw back on September 13, minus a few changes. So again, a budget, whether it's an adopted budget, a first interim, second interim, is based on a set of assumptions. By now, we know what the governor's budget said and what the numbers are, so now we are able to build a first interim based on true numbers. So what you see for 18-19, 19-20, 20-21 is the best set of numbers that we have to build our first interim report for the current year, and what we can use as we build our multi-year projections for the 2 out years. So where are we? So again, back on September 13, you received a budget update. This is, in a way, a second update to that, letting you know where we are in terms of revenues versus expenditures. One of the areas that I want you to focus on is on the change. You see the column where it says change? That's the area that I want you to focus so that you can see what the change in revenue and expenditures are. The most important change that I want to bring to your attention, and Mr. Ciro Calderon, this is where I can talk to you about the plan for the vehicles, is there was a one-time money that hit the books just recently. And for me to better explain it, I don't know if you're familiar with the emergency repair program. That's something that was approved back in 2008, but after that, nobody knew if that was ever going to be approved or not up until a couple of years ago. So what happened now is that between 2008 and a couple of years ago, the work got done. no way that a district can wait that long to make the repairs that are needed for so many years, so they have to do that. So the money that we got is, in a way, reimbursing our facilities fund. So it's a one-time money. This is not something that we're gonna get next year. It's a one-time money that we have, that we were not expecting it. So I don't know how the board feels as far as using some of those dollars to purchase some vehicles. But again, this is one-time money that we can definitely look at. And again, we were not expecting that to get it.
If I may interfere, 691, right?
It's
650?
right now, under reason for change, it says emergency repair program.
650. If I may ask the question, one-time monies should not be used or shall not be used for salaries and benefits, anything like that, right?
In theory, that is correct.
In theory, or?
Well, that is correct. That's what's recommended. You don't, one-time money should not be used on things that eat.
Okay. So
you asked me earlier for a timeline and for a way of looking at maybe financing these vehicles. Well, I think that's a very viable option. I would just need at the end of the presentation, what the board would like me to do. But we have some flexibility that we didn't have before. Again, this is one-time money, so think about it and let me know how you feel about that. Moving down to the expenditure side of the house, there was a slight increase of about $1.5 million, and that is mostly due to our health and welfare. As you know, we were transitioning into a new financial system. The last budget update that was presented to you still hadn't encumbered all the benefit costs in the new financial system. Now they are, and based on placement and salary schedules, that's what we're looking at, just as an increase of about $1.2 million to the expenditure side of the house. So overall, revenue versus expenditures, we're looking at about 900 and I believe it says 40,000, can see that far. So just under $1 million on the negative side. So that's basically what the unaudited actual budget versus this one has in effect. Any questions on this?
Mr. Vega, just quickly. So
Yes, sir.
going back to the employee benefits. So in the past, do you recall, was there kind of just an average cost that was used? And now that you're going with Escape, that's more accurate, right, by
Right.
individual. So in the past, was it just kind of an average that was
It
used?
was just
for
an
cost?
average, the best guess that we could make at that time.
Okay.
So this is just a pie chart that really explains what I just explained to you, but it gives you an idea on how the money is received. Most of our money comes from the LCFF, the local control funding formula. So about over $100 million comes from it. The rest of it, what you see in yellow, is federal. The green is other, and our local revenues are on the little orange piece of the pie. Any questions on that? On the expenditure side of the house, I think this is a very important slide for me to present because it tells you how our budget is being spent. So if I can direct your attention to the green, the red, and I think it's blue, that's certificated salaries, classified salaries, and benefits. Our district spends about 81% of our budget on those three alone. So that tells you where most of our money goes towards. The rest of it is operational budgets, materials and supplies and things like that that are allocated. But so you have an idea on how the money's, most of the money is being used. Questions? This is our multi-year projection. Again, these are for 18-19, 19-20, and 2021. The major change on the revenue side in the 19-20 fiscal year, if you see the budget goes down from 126 on the current year to about 123 million, and that's mostly because there are some grants that are coming off the books. So the money is not going to be available, and that's on the federal side. Nevertheless, LCFF, if everything continues as planned, we see another increase in 2020 and 2021. On the expenditure side of the house, our expenditures for the current year versus our revenues, we're not what we call on a deficit. We're finishing up on the positive. We're projecting to have a net increase of about $3.3 million for the current year. However, for the following year, as TERS and PERS and cost of health and welfare benefits continue to accumulate, we start seeing some changes in our net increase or decrease. Now we are going to be on the negative. We project to be just under $1 million for 1920. 2021, it increases to about 1.5. At the very bottom, I don't know if you can read where it says ending fund balance percent. For 18-19, our ending fund balance percent is about 16.63%. The following year, 1920, is about 15, and is it 0.08? 0.68, and then it goes down to 14 and change. So again, that's mostly attributed to STIRS, PERS, and possibly health and welfare benefits. Questions on this? Yes, sir.
Now, are you taking in consideration book adoptions?
Yes.
So book adoptions only happen every 10, 15 years, right?
I would say so. I'm not on the outside of the house, but I possibly.
And book adoptions cost?
Millions.
Millions.
Yes.
Okay, so for the next couple of years, we're gonna have book adoptions. So that's why yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But this is just for the next couple of years, and then we don't have to do this again.
Right, so there is money set aside in our SACS documents on the entire package. We have money set aside, and I believe, Mario, was it $1 million? $1 million for textbook adoptions in each of the current year and the next 2 years, right? For the current year, for 18-19, yes.
Well, because I'm looking at the ending fund balance, and we go from 20 to 17, well, 18. So from 20 and a half to almost 18, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, book adoptions.
Cost a lot of money.
Okay, all right.
Right. Any more questions on this? So then we have our cash flow. This mostly tells you how our cash revenues are on a monthly basis. We normally carry a ending fund balance of about $20 million. So that you know, our average payroll a month is between $5.5 and $6 million. So we are able to meet our payroll every month. And this is the second part. Any questions that I can entertain?
I just want to thank you for the wonderful presentation. I like the way you showed the expenditures by percentage and the dollar amounts. It tells us that 81% is made up of salaries.
Yes, sir.
And of course, that's going to increase once we settle. And
yes.
So keep that in mind, and that we have a structural deficit.
Are we going to the cash conference? What is it, in January?
At the governor's workshop in January?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, we are. Maribel and I will be attending.
In the past, board members have been invited, so no. Well, no.
You can report, you'll report to us.
Right. Normally, I provide a report on some of the changes at the following board meeting or in February.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I mean, you're more than welcome to come. I'll race you, your car, my car. Let's see who gets there first.
You couldn't catch me in your best day.
I know, just kidding. So anyway, so any more questions on this?
I do have one question on the one time.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us in the next board meeting as to how we can spend it?
Absolutely.
It's this emergency repair, so I want to make sure that we're spending it wisely, and not only wisely, but also according to the expectation.
Well, the money is reimbursement for emergency repairs from prior years.
Correct.
Therefore, at this point in time, it can be expended in any way you want.
Yes, so it's general fund money, so you can use it in any way. That's why I think for me,
And the reason that we went to this conference, not too long ago, and I found something out that I didn't know, so.
Okay.
Just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing.
Absolutely. That's my job, to give you accurate information, yes.
So I think it was a request for suggestions on the one-time funds?
No.
No?
The do's and don'ts, I mean,
Oh,
that's
do's and
all.
don'ts, okay. All right.
I mean, we've got to use it, we're going to use it, but just to make sure that we're within the
Use it
guidelines.
appropriately.
Absolutely. You got it.
I move we approve the first interim report.
There's a motion by Mr. Romero to approve, a second by Mr. Calderon Jr. Any other discussion? Call for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right. And I believe at this time, the board will be returning to closed session. Okay?